Hola, mi gente. How's it going, guys? It's me, Steve, and welcome to Oye Cinema Club. Today, we are reviewing the incredible movie from 2010, I think, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I don't remember when the year was, but Scott Pilgrim versus the World. The reason this movie got picked was first, we're in a March Madness bracket, so we got to pick movies that bombed in the box office or movies that start with the first letter of your name. My name is Steve. Scott Pilgrim starts with an S. That's why it got picked. Uh, but yeah, I'm not here by myself. I'm here with some incredible hosts. We have El Dondino and Jason underscore Echoes.
What
And
what?
before I tell you my first impressions, I want to hear what you guys have for your first impressions. And if it's your first, second, third, fifth time watching this film, let's start with Jason.
Thanks, Steve. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Not my first time seeing this movie. I've seen it a few times. I don't know how many, honestly, but maybe around five or more. I don't know.
Damn.
I really do like this movie quite a bit. Uh, I actually first saw this movie in theaters, and I remember it like there not being very many people in there. And I remember watching it and being blown away just from the jump. Like, soon as like Sex by Bomb started, as soon as that song started, it just kind of like endorsed you into a movie. This movie is so cinematic and it deserves to be seen like in the cinema. Um, and I remember thinking while I was watching it, I remember thinking, I was like, I'm gonna have to come back and watch this again in cinemas because if I don't, I'll never be able to see this again in the movie theater. I like it. Just this isn't going to be the kind of movie that's going to ever like play like retrospectively or be a big hit. And I was like, and it's such a cinematic movie. And I did. I went to go see it a second time in theaters before it left. Like I was able to catch it twice. And then I thought like that would be it. Funny thing is that although this movie kind of qualifies Steve as a movie that begins with S, and it was a box office flop because this movie only made like 40 something million. I'm getting into numbers, but this movie was a flop when it came out. And then it found its life on DVD and whatever was available at that time. But it found a second life, and this thing has kind of become sort of a cult classic for that reason. Like a whole nother generation loves Scott Pilgrim, and it's a very like millennial sort of glow, basking glow that's going on in this thing. There's a lot to like. I really do like this movie. I honestly think it's a perfect film, to be honest with you. Um, like there's no flaw in it. I love the casting so much. I love every character from top to bottom in this thing. I love the editing. I love like all the shot selection. We can talk about shot selection a little bit later. That'd be great. But it seems like so much work to make this movie because like the setups they probably had to do for one shot sometimes in this thing. It's just like blows your mind because it's kind of reads like a comic book. And then I found out many years later that it was a comic book. In fact, I love the setting. I love that it's in like the winter Toronto music scene. There's a lot to like about this movie, but those are my impressions.
Thank you so much, Jason. Let's go with Dino.
Hey, hey. This might be the third time I've seen it. I missed it at the theater. If it was 2010, it was when I was too broke to go to the movies, when I was in Chicago. Um, so when I first saw it, maybe it was on Netflix. I might have just watched it by myself. I really enjoyed it. I think visually and sound and editing wise, I mean, well, that I guess as visually, it's amazing. It's a great film. Watching it again, like Scott Pilgrim is a dick. Like he's not. I don't know. I feel like the more I watch it, the less likable Scott Pilgrim is.
Sure.
Like he's just a d bag to all the ladies in his life. Like the except for maybe the one girl, Brie Larson, that broke up with him, but all the other ones, right? The girl, the drummer girl, that they dated, and then Knives, and yeah, which it's just weird. Also, even the first time I saw it, I was like, why Knives has to be 17? Like, you could at least make her 18 and she's graduating or just graduated or something like that. Like, it's just so weird, so bizarre. And then yeah, the anyway, I really did enjoy the film. I'm just pointing out the things that the more I watch it, I'm just like, gives me a little bit of the ick, if you will. But the cast is amazing. I forget why I ended up watching it. Someone kept talking about Scott Pilgrim, or kept coming up, or just how stacked the cast was, and the cast was like huge before, like, I mean, imagine getting all those people. I think they finally ended up doing a cartoon series on Netflix, and of course they have the money to bring all those people back. But it's like, you got Marvel, you got like all these comedians, you got Succession, you got Parks. You just have all these like current, like, that are known, actors, which back then maybe, Michael Cera, but then the rest of them, it's almost like the rest of them have surpassed him in a way. Uh, so yeah, it's interesting watching it that way. And Thomas Jane, who I always kind of knew just from that original, not original Punisher movie, but the early 2000s when they brought the Punisher back. So yeah, that's kind of my current thoughts. But in the first time, I was just like, this is amazing. It's so well done, video game esque, and of course, like Jason was saying, feels like a comic book. It's based on that. Uh, yeah, visually delightful.
Thank you so much, Dino. Let's go with Steve. Thank you. Um, I'm going next. So, first impressions. This is probably like my second or third time watching the film. I'm not sure. What I do remember though is I did not see this in theaters. And maybe Jason or Dino, if you got the information or if you find it, maybe the movie, maybe this was like a big year of movies or something, because I don't remember like crazy marketing for it. And this is like a movie that needed the marketing, I think. But I, like Jason, I do remember the first time watching this film a long time ago. I was blown away, just going like, "Oh my god!" Like, just like the way that they were able to gamify this movie is like incredible. So like, big shout out, like huge shout out, just to the editing. Like, the editing of this film must have taken crazy amount of time. And this is like a time way before AI and all this stuff that we live in now. So I imagine that like the editing department had their hands so full on this movie. They probably were like months, if not a year, just like editing every single aspect of this, because everything is so smooth. And like, a lot of the shots, a lot of the editing, like what Jason was commenting, it's so precise. It's just moments that are literally like 1 second, 3 seconds, just like so quick. Like he opens the door and all of a sudden he's in high school, and like all this stuff is just like, I like, the only thing I can think of is just like, man, I wish like I could have been making this movie, because it just, it makes it even more, because when I saw it back when the movie came out, I was literally just finishing high school. So to go from there, that I don't get the majority of the references, to now that I'm a pretty grown adult and I'm like, oh, this is parodying Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and this is also having a parody of Seinfeld. And like, there's so many things that went over my head, because as a kid, what I was mainly excited about was not just the music, because the music, the score of this movie is incredible. Uh, but the sound effects, the video game, the Sonic rings, the Mario music playing in the background, like different video game things because I was a huge gamer back in the day. That was the thing that was captivating to me then. But now, like Dino, I'm mainly seeing that the behavior of Scott, and just so like a funny anecdote. You mentioned, oh, why did they make Knives 17? I remember when also a, a couple of years after that, like all my friends are in college now, and like I remember a couple of guys that used to, you know, go to high school together. They were still going to the high school as a college student to hit on high school girls because I guess they didn't have the courage to ask out college girls. So they were still going to the high school, and because they're more like older, you know, the senior girls or whatever will get attracted to them or something. I don't know. But I was just like, man, that's such a loser thing to do for you to like go back to the high school so you can go pick up or whatever. Like it's just so, and then Scott is actually doing this. I actually didn't even remember that detail. So when I saw it again, the film, I was like, what? Like I was literally just like the band members, like, what are you doing dating this girl in high school? Like, this is stupid. Uh, but yeah, man, like the acting superb is great. The editing is flawless. It's so good. It's so good. And yeah, in general, like the music is great. The cinematography is amazing. I still think the movie, even up to this day, it holds up. It still has like a like I don't know what it is specifically that it still gives it a bit of a dated thing, but it's a good thing for the film, you know, because he lives in that world and everything. But it's still a really solid movie, in my opinion. Anyways, those were my first impressions.
Sure,
Uh,
sure. There's a couple things you said that I really did like, Steve. I like that you. Oh, and also, well, I like that you talked about the sound because I was really like like in my fifth or sixth time maybe watching this movie. I'm like, really mesmerized by like the sound choices, and also like I'm able to pay attention to like the music before it comes in. Sometimes, like the Brie Larson song plays way before she ever comes out or whatever. Like when they start to like acknowledge like she's sort of coming and her posters everywhere, her song is playing underneath, like just as like background music. Then I'm like, oh wow, like if this is my first time watching it, I would have never noticed that or whatever. My second time, probably not either, which I really didn't. But it took me like to this viewing to like really key in on a lot of smaller things that are happening. So the sound stuff is really, really good in this movie. I think the 8-bitness is what keeps it sort of in a time capsule because they're using all these
Right.
8-bit video game reference. They're not trying to do like the modern graphics of 2010. They're like, we're doing the graphics from like the 90s. And so that'll never go old because that's cemented in time. So this movie kind of like capsulizes itself because of that, which is very cool. But you did mention you were kind of confused, like why this movie wouldn't have been a hit and the marketing was off. And it was off at that time because they didn't really know how to market this. They didn't know if it was comic book. They didn't know if it was like like a comic book movie. Like they didn't. And at that time, there were 4 big movies that came out at the same time. So this movie debuted at number 5 when it came out. It only made like 10 million opening weekend or something. Because at that time, Inception was out. Um, I forget, but it was a lot of big ones. I even took a screenshot, but I can't look at it right now. But yeah, there were some really big movies that came out that same weekend, which made them debut at number 5. And when if you look at the top 4, they're all huge, like Inception, like really big movies. So I think they buried this thing.
so I have here that like some of the other movies that came out were The Expendables,
Right.
uh, Eat, Pray, Love,
Yep.
The Other Guys,
The other guys.
Inception, Salt, The Last Airbender, Despicable Me, and Takers.
Yeah, this
I
thing was
mean, this
thrown to
Despicable
the
Me was
wolves.
did the other guys also do well? I don't know if that a hit or is that
Yeah,
just kind of
the other guys was a big hit.
because I always confused that one with the Good Guys. Is that what it's called?
The
Russell
other guy
Crowe.
is the one with Will Ferrell and
Yeah, and Mark Wahlberg. I know that, and Michael Keaton, who is great in it.
But the movie, the Scott Pilgrim movie, they come the
Yeah.
same day as The Expendables and Eat, Pray, Love.
yeah, it got buried.
Yeah. Okay.
There's just no way.
Yeah.
Like literally, they have the same release date, August 13, 2010.
Especially for a movie you don't know how to market.
Yeah.
It's not like
And
there had ever been anything like this before. It was really kind of a new thing. And it also, when you're watching it, you also feel like someone's listening to me. Like or more community, because like there's a lot of people who are going to get these references, get this video game stuff that's happening, get this fast editing. Like people are just going to get it. And then like the manic pixie thing from the 90s, like you said, with the eternal spotless, um uh all the references to like music and indie culture. Like this movie sets itself up almost as an indie movie, because like everything they do is so like indie Toronto music scene and whatnot. But then it happens to be a universal movie, so it's actually like a really big movie that really paid attention to the indie culture. Like I think this movie does it on a lot of levels, man. And I just think the cast really gets it too. And clearly they trust this director big time.
They even had the Universal music when Chris Evans shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
I mean, this
I thought was
this
pretty good.
cast is crazy. Like everybody is in this thing. Like all the actors are in it. Like all these prime actors. Everybody's so good.
It was a year before Captain America came out, right?
It was a
Like,
year
I
before Captain
mean,
America. You have
uh,
you have two Marvel heroes in this movie.
yeah. No, it was a little before Brie would make. She didn't show up to way later. I think Avengers, Infinity Wars
Well,
is
she was
when
Captain
she.
Marvel.
I know, but that so she didn't show up in Marvel until way later.
Oh,
But
right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
um,
But you got two Marvel people in this movie, man. Like, I mean, at least two Marvel, but two
yeah,
Marvel heroes for sure. Like two Avengers flat
yeah.
out. That's crazy.
And
That's
then
crazy.
oh
This
yeah,
cast is loaded.
and all the it's so weird having like small characters like oh, what's her name from Pitch Perfect and stuff, like being the sister
Oh,
and just
yeah. What was it? Allison? Wait, what's her name?
keep saying Natalie Portman, but it's not Natalie
No, it's
Portman.
Allison something, right?
No, that you're getting confused.
No. Yeah, wait. What's her name?
Because it's Aubrey Plaza is the other girl in it that it's right around Parks and Rec, right? So she's not huge, but
I can't
she's
remember her
getting there.
name for whatever, but yeah, obviously we know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, but all these again, and like Chris Evans being like in one scene, and just it's wild. The cast is wild.
Yeah, and I really love what Aubrey Plaza does in this movie. I like her character. Like, I don't even think her character blinks, which is funny. Um, and
Or
Allison
the
Peel is very funny in this thing too. Like her eyes just sort of tell like this just her utter disdain and intolerance for Scott Pilgrim. Because like every time it's so funny. Like the world is so established with like moves. Like every time Scott Pilgrim and her are in the room, she's just like giving the stink eye to Scott Pilgrim. The entire even when like in the background when you're not noticing, she's there stink eyeing him, and it's like, oh, this is so funny. Like that's just her
the
character.
the drummer.
Yeah, the drummer. Yeah,
She's kind of
she's so
my
good.
favorite. I don't know if we're gonna do favorite characters, but she's kind of my favorite.
She's
There's
great.
a sex Bob-Omb. I might
Yeah.
be this old before I figured out that I thought it was Bomb Bomb, but it's Bob-Omb.
Yeah, it's Sex Bomb.
Bob-Omb.
Yeah,
But
Bob-Omb.
I always heard it, and like I saw the T-shirt. I guess this time for the first time that it's Bob and then dash and I was like, because I kept trying to be like, how is she able to say Bob-Omb? And I'm like, oh, because she's not saying Bob-Omb. And
Yeah,
Uh,
that's not it's Bob-Omb.
yeah,
Yeah,
bomb.
but like when they opened with that, the sex Bob-Omb, like all my senses opened up in the theater, and I was like, I just felt like I was being drawn into the screen, and
Yeah,
I just rare for me to feel like that in the cinema, man, where it's just like everything has to stop
yeah.
because they caught me. Like I'm invested in everything that's going to happen, and all they did was open up with this musical number, but like had, that had like never been filmed before. Like nothing like that had ever been
So,
like shown.
so one thing for sure that I did back in I didn't do it this time, of course, but like back in the day, is I remember this how much the music had impact on me as well. I remember literally getting the soundtrack of this film
Oh shit.
and listening to it
Good
like
choice.
Nerd.
over over and over again. Like I was like, why am I replaying a song that is literally talking about I'm gonna take you on a ride on my garbage truck?
Oh,
Like I don't
so
know.
good. It's so
I don't
good.
know, but it was so good.
It is. It's a terrific song.
Was it-
I have a couple of these songs on my playlist. These songs come up all the time in my rotation. Sex
Interesting. Okay.
Bomb comes up all the time, and the Brie Larson song comes up all the time. Friend of a friend.
Now,
Um,
before we get into characters and scenes and shots and all these things, there's one thing we haven't mentioned at all about this film that is honestly, especially this time watching it again as an adult, is freaking iconic. And it's just the lines that this movie has. This movie could be one of those movies that is like top when it comes to quotes because there is so many lines that even I heard in songs that they taken from this film. So like
I don't believe that. I don't.
you don't believe me? Go
No, I don't
find
believe you.
whenever you have time, go find Kid Cudi. The song.
Oh, okay. You're talking musicians. Okay, I thought just in everyday lingo.
No, no music, just music. Like
Oh,
there's
okay.
a song from
Well,
Kid Cudi called "She Knows This" that literally starts with the line of the movie of like when Scott shows up to the nightclub that G-Man owns, and the lead singer goes like, "Scott, what are you doing?" Like, "Oh, don't give him the satisfaction," something like that. He's like, but what if I want the satisfaction?" Like literally, that line is the beginning of that song,
okay.
Mm.
and
I believe
I
you.
remember.
I don't know enough of the music game to be able to be like. I thought you meant like our everyday, like
No,
because I was gonna be like Anchorman, like all those movies are like was lingo throughout. You know.
no, I'm just talking that it got taken from here and it got used on something else. So like in the,
Oh,
mu-
okay.
in the music, that's how it starts. And I remember I've listened to that song like many times, and I had no idea it was from this movie until I watched it, and literally that happened, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's from the song that I've heard
Yeah.
so many times." Anyway, there's definitely there's a few lines that I want to mention. I'm in Lesbians with You, hilarious. Um, there's if I had $1 for every time I thought about you, I had no dollars because I haven't stopped thinking about you since we met. Uh, I need to pee on her. uh, Chicken isn't vegan.
I like you were vegan and now vegan. Like that's one I always remember. That's not gonna
Wasn't that
lie, that's kind of my favorite fight or my favorite just because it's so stupid of the vegan. Like all the others are like so over the top, so great, but just the vegan fight is just so silly and so stupid that just the idea of vegans having like the telekinesis or whatever, like greater than everything, and then the vegan police show up and they have like finger lasers. I mean,
No, but even before that, when he's like, "Oh, I know that you put soy milk in one, and then the other
I
thing,"
know.
and he still takes it, which is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Well, cause he went for the soy milk, and then he's like, basically like, my mind, I was thinking that I put soy milk in that one, but actually I put it in, kind of like a Princess Bride type of thing of just,
Yep.
tricking him to drink the soy one and actually being smarter. Uh, yeah, but I don't know that and Thomas Jane. It's like what the hell is Thomas Jane doing in this movie? But I guess I'm the only one who has a soft spot for
Who
Thomas
was
Jane.
Thomas Jane in the movie?
He's the one vegan cop, the
Oh,
one that
okay.
yeah, the main one that talks without the facial hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, a line that I really like in this movie. I don't know if it's my first time catching it or if I caught it before, but it's a very subtle, subtle line where when Ramona gives him the phone number, he goes, "Girl number." Like
what
under his
number?
breath, he says, "Girl number,"
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he gets all giddy. And it's a throwaway line. You can barely hear him when he says it, but it's so funny because it's like, yeah, I remember getting a girl's actual physical phone number, and it feels great. Like,
Yeah.
girl number. Like a girl gave you her number. Like I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. But
I don't think it's a thing anymore. It would be like drop me a DM or a gram or whatever kids,
yeah,
but it's like imagine like can I have your number? It'll be like I don't even know my number type of thing, right? Uh
kind of. Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
if we're talking just lines that I know I don't want to say her I don't want to look it up, but her name will come to me. But it's when Kieran like ends up
Kieran.
making out Kieran ends up making out and the Scott's sister is like not again like clearly like he's stolen her boyfriend's like every time that line just gets me like it's so well like the deliver and that I'll give you guys that like the delivery of silly lines in this is so great and
It's
every
like
time that line comes is
you
amazing.
just reminded me of another line that I would have been so mad if I didn't remember this one. But is when Knives gets punched in the face by the dude, and the other guy from the band, he goes like, "You punched the highlights out of her hair. He punched the highlights out of
Yeah.
it."
Dude, I'm so
That
happy you said that
that
because of how
delivery,
earnestly he played that line. It's what I wanted to open the show with, and then I forgot. He punched the
Young Neil.
highlights out of her hair.
that
Yeah,
second
because
time he
young
says it
Neil
is so epic.
has a crush on Knives. So right, that was young Neil
Yep,
that
young Neil.
that said it.
That's right.
But that line is so man. He probably auditioned with that. Let me just say that. 'Cause
Oh,
like
without a doubt, without a doubt. Like the stress on his face, it was like a Vietnam movie. It was great.
so one thing for sure. So I don't know if you guys actually played the game of Scott Pilgrim, but it's literally a fighting game. So like you're just punching people and stuff. I never actually I played maybe slightly, but I wasn't really in the Scott Pilgrim world. Uh, but one thing that makes this movie also interesting is that all the fights are not the same. Like the first fight was kind of like a Bollywood movie, and the dude was like, "But didn't you read my email?"
Yeah.
And there was another one that was really, just playing guitar and all this stuff, going back and forth with the twins and all this different stuff. So, out of the different battles that we see, which one was your favorite and why?
Oh, that's a great question.
I kind of said mine already, which was the vegan fight, just because of the it's kind of the most simple one if you think about it. Uh, but yeah, I just the idea, I kind of mentioned, and the way that he beats him, right, of the soy milk and the half and half, you know, um, yeah, it's just
Yeah, I was
really
trying to think of
funny.
a different one, but I'm gonna have to go with Dino on this one. I feel like that's my favorite fight to watch visually, and it's very silly, but I mean, also it's a pretty big boss for him. Like they even say it, like this is a big one. Like yeah, it's a big one.
Uh, cause then the other one is just because that bit is always funny is Chris Evans because of his stunt doubles, which kind
Yeah.
of is makes me think of Space Jam, uh, Spaceballs. When they're like chasing them and then they're like, "We got you now," and it's like, "You caught we caught the stunt doubles." So the idea that he now has to fight the different stunt doubles but the way he beats Chris Evans isn't all that I feel like amazing other than just like can you do something on that? He's like a grind isn't as epic as
No, it's not.
you just
But he
drank half
wasn't
and
able to
half.
beat him otherwise.
Right. No, well, like a lot of them he just barely outwits them, right? Or accidentally. But yeah, the half and half bit I think is is so great.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, but also like it all kind of like goes together, like it all flows together so well.
right,
Kind of had to be that way with all of them. It's just a great concept. Like also like you date somebody new and you're dealing with all their exes over like the course of their life, which is like, and these are young kids too. Like they're only like early 20s, right? So like
right.
they're fighting like junior high boyfriends and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's like or ninth grade boyfriends and some. So it's like that's also kind of funny because you're sort of dealing with all the experiences that your partner has already had, or you're dealing with like their
Right.
baggage or something. I don't know what the metaphor exactly is for the movie, or is it just
Well,
it's like, but it's awesome.
the silly part of it is like they're all talking about because they are in their like early 20s, right? So how many people can you have actually have dated, right, as an actual boyfriend girlfriend? And so like the Chris Evans thing is she's like, was it fifth grade or something or say like it was a weird ass like
It was ninth grade,
he's
I think.
kind nine no I thought it was earlier than that he's just kind of been stalking her since like
Well, the one boyfriend, the Matthew Patel, he was seventh grade,
yeah
and then like
I
the
thought
next one
because
showed up. Whoever the next one was ninth grade.
yeah no I remember the Chris Evans might be third grade because she just like it's so sad she like it was like third grade I don't know if it was just like the playground or something but she's like he won't stop bothering me since like third grade or something and she's even like it's so sad which is great, which is just kind of like, yeah, when you're 21 or 22, you just think like, I've had such a big life already. I've seen so much. I've dated so much, and it's like, is that really a girlfriend? If is that really a boyfriend? If you guys dated for a month, dated for a week, basically,
Well,
kissed at the
all their
playground,
stories involved like the emotional bond. So I think
right?
you know there was an emotional there was an emotional bond. Like even with the guy that she only dated for like a week and a half in seventh grade, they had to fight all the bullies. And
Right.
so, like them having to defeat all the bullies in their school, that created their emotional bond where they thought they were unstoppable together. So it was, but
Yeah,
their relationship was 10 days.
I almost feel yeah. So the two things I was thinking about it, and again, not to bring it back to the whole Knives Chow, being 17, but I feel like watching it this time, it might have been better if they were all still in high school, or I think they could have made it work is that she went to a Catholic school and maybe it was an all female Catholic school, right? So clearly she never actually had a boyfriend because she was just stuck in an all female, Catholic school. And that could have really solved things of being like 21, 22 years old and, you know, uh,
So I know it bugs you, and I was thinking about
it,
it when I was.
it, it doesn't like hugely bug me. It's just one of those like, what would have been an easy kind of solution to bring to make him less douchey? Because that's still douchey, right? Like we haven't even held hands. We haven't. It's like, why are you doing this, bro? Like there's no reason. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why he would do that. But
I mean, it's play because he liked her worshiping him. He wanted someone to like worship the ground he walked on. That's why every time he's around her, he's like, "Oh yeah, but back to me, or how you feel about me, or my music, or our band." Like it's always him receiving
right.
praise from her. That's all he wanted her for. A fan. He just wanted like a super fan. But the thing also is, or he wanted to feel like a big shot as well. But I think the thing is, for me, in my own life experience, I've seen a lot of guys who used to go back, like Steve said, come back to high school to date older. Like a lot of girls in my class were dating guys in their early 20s because they looked grown or whatever. And it's like, this is crazy. But like, I've seen them, and I've seen the type of guy that would go back to a high school to like pick. So
Right.
it's not odd to me. What I really kind of liked about it at the time when it was released, I was like, oh, this is such an interesting, because they never do this in movies. Not like big old studio movies. They never do like this kind of like tale, but this really does happen. So them exploring the fact that this happens, and no one lets him up in the movie. Everyone in the movie says, Scott, you're gross. Everybody says, Scott, this is not cool. Like every woman in the
Yeah.
movie corrects Scott for it. Like, Scott, be serious.
Well, and then just won't break up though. But interesting. So in Paraguay, unlike here, driver's license you can get it until you're 18. And when I was still a young kid there, it was just kind of starting to where I guess if your parents would allow you to drive the car, you could drive the car without an ID, or at least from a. Now everyone has a motorcycle. It feels like, and no one has a driver's license. But back then, it felt like most of the girls in my class were dating, like you said, older guys or guys that had graduated that already had cars. So it was this weird thing. It's like maybe even eighth grade, super weird, but definitely by like ninth grade, it was just like some of the girls were like having like a sometimes a 20-year-old, or whatever, and it was like, well, they have a car, they can go out late, they can blah blah blah. So it's definitely weird when you think about it that what people do. Well, and then like I'm in a relationship now with Talita, who's 10 years younger than me. I never thought that would be a thing, but then again, we met at 30 and 40, right? Like that's different than what Scott was doing.
Good thing you guys didn't meet when you were 20 and she was 10.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's weird.
Right?
It's
Who's the
when I
weirdo
saw
now, Dino? Who's the weirdo now? Do you feel a little Scotty? Do you feel a little pilgrimage going on your end?
only when I think about like, hey, what were you doing when I was 18 graduating high school? Like, oh no, like, oh man, oh, do you remember watching Jurassic Park in the movie theater? The first, oh no, never mind. Don't want to talk about that. Like that's when it's weird is when you think about it. Like, what were you doing during 1994 World Cup? Stuff like that.
What were you doing before Christ?
What were you doing before you were born? And I was having a great childhood. So yes, I understand that. But again, that's the difference of like when you meet people, when you decide to have, relationships and stuff like that. And yeah. Uh, but oh yeah, them playing the video game, and it's kind of a mix of Dance Dance Revolution and
Oh yeah, that's
and
the
Street Fighter, like all the visual and editing and choreography, not just in that, but like throughout the movie when they had the fights and stuff like that. Um, Great choreography.
It's really
Um,
terrific. It's just like they also did something that like because they set it like an indie movie, but they really gave like this thing. They had this indie movie quality to it, like the real superhero treatment.
well, the indie quality is, I mean, they had Jason Schwartzman, right? That his like, you want to be more indie than that? Like, that's your
I
guy.
feel like everybody in this movie is like an indie sweetheart. It's like let's grab all the indie sweethearts and put them in a movie together, and this is what you get from a studio. We're going to pull all their indie, sweetheart fan base together, but we're going to give them like really good special effects to make like really good superhero action.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. Pretty much all of them. Uh, I keep wanting to say Ashley Judd, but that's not her name. But it's on the tip of my tongue, and it's driving me crazy. But this is what we were before the interwebs, guys.
Aubrey
And
Plaza.
no, 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 no. The sister from Pitch
Oh,
Perfect.
I want to call her Allison something too.
No,
She's not even like on the She's not even on like where Google has the cast. Like it's like she's like uncredited or something.
no, I think she is. Yeah, and then she was also even in Twilight. I mean, she was a very small character in Twilight. Um, oh my God.
What do you guys want to go into some numbers?
Sure.
Uh, I mean,
Unless
before we go into numbers,
Anna Kendrick.
ah,
before we go into numbers, because that is approaching final thoughts. What do you think in the final battle? We see a scene play out, and then we see the same scene play out differently. And what changes primarily is Scott's approach and also the weapon he gets. So the weapon he gets first is a sword that represents the power of love. But then when he does the do-over, he gets another sword that says the power of self-respect. So what do you think is the significance of that?
I mean, you got to love yourself first before you love anybody else. Or what do you have to give?
well, I don't even think it's necessarily. It's how he treats the women, right? Like that's the difference. That before it's almost more again the more centralized thing of the I love you, that's why I'm doing this, versus the the I don't want to just say the respecting yourself and respecting the people in in your life, but it kind of falls to that, right? Of at first it's just like, oh, love is passion and fire and everything, and then it's like, well, yeah, they'll burn hot for a bit, but beyond that, there's something else. So I don't know if I'm making much sense, but that's kind of what I think about the two swords. Because yeah, love can make you blind, right? Like it's kind of a single focus, whereas with respect and that kind of idea, that encompasses more than just one thing. That's what I got.
I agree. I just wanted to hear you guys, so I have nothing to say. What was your favorite bit of the movie? I'll go first on this one. My favorite bit, because one, I didn't remember it, and it happened at least a couple times, was the stuff with his gay roommate. When specifically not when he's kissing her sister's boyfriend, but like when they keep waking up from the bed and like more guys like pop out, is hilarious to me. And it happened at least three times, I believe, in the movie.
Well, I was gonna stick in the apartment. One is him constantly like texting or calling the sister, right? So even like when he's passed out, it's like, how do you do that, right? And then the other one, because it's such a small bit, but he's like, all of a sudden, Knives Chow shows up, and he's like, oh, he just left, and then you just see Scott like jump and break through the window. Like it's so well done. but then it's like, ooh, forgot his coat, so like has to get it back. It's such a great bit of the, just over the top, like trying to just sneak out, like tell him I'm not here, you know. So
I was
that
very
like
impressed with that bit as well.
yeah, visual gag bit is, yeah, always fun.
I mean, in a movie with like full of bits, it's really hard, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I like so many of them. Like, nothing like pops out in my head as like a best bit. I'm sorry, but like the movie, and that's probably because like the movie flows together so well. It just almost feel like it's bit after bit and callback after callback. I mean, I really kind of like the relationship between him and Kimmy, I think is her name or whatever. The band. Oh, I do like that one too. I do like the one where she's drumming and she goes, they have a girl drummer. And then, like, cut a few scenes forward, you see the little girl drummer, like, staring at her, like, hoping like,
Yeah.
also, like, upset about the whole situation. I like, that's pretty funny.
Um, I had another one just left me. Did it have to do with a roommate?
While you're
Oh,
doing,
he kept saying ex-boyfriend, and Ramona kept
oh, that was great.
correcting what
Exes.
exes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exes. The fact that she keeps correcting him, you'll never catch that the first time you watch this movie. Like, you don't even,
Well, I wonder if you maybe because she does do an attack. Maybe after that, you would think, right? Because the only
after
people
that,
attacking
yeah,
him,
you'll start to maybe pick it up on it. But
but
I,
he
I
still
didn't notice that
messes
the
it up.
first few times I saw this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, maybe, but
It's this movie's almost built that you watch it more than once because it's happening so fast and there's line after
yeah.
line. All the actors are really quick and on top of it, and the editing is so like bing bing bing. It's like a pinball machine
And what about Amazon being delivered by like one package?
on roller
2010
skates.
Amazon. Yeah, that's
Straight up
wild.
courier service. Maybe they used to do that in 2010 in Toronto. I don't know.
I know, right?
Let's do some numbers real quick. So when this thing was made, it was made for about $60 million to 85 million. They say it's often cited as 60 million because I guess they got some money back in the tax rebates for filming this thing, most likely in Canada, I guess. Um, but it only grossed about 47, 46 million when it first came out or whatever. So it didn't make, its budget back at all. It was pretty, pretty big loss on this thing. But then like they re-released it in 2021 for the anniversary, and they made like another 4.7 million or something like that. So it brought the total up to about 51 million. Um,
Damn,
so
even still under. I thought
yeah,
maybe
even still,
it'd make. Oh,
but
you said 2021?
yeah,
Still
it came
COVID.
out when nobody was going to the movie theaters.
Yeah,
So it's like again, just got hit by a dump truck
and
or whatever.
and I would imagine very limited release in 2021.
Yeah, I would bet it
I,
was. Every once
yeah,
in a while, though, I'll see this thing as like a midnight screening or at like a,
right.
a whatever theater, a second run theater. I see this thing pop up at least once a year. Somewhere out here in LA or whatever. Uh, yeah, I think that's mainly it for the numbers. But this thing made its money on DVD and
Oh
rentals,
yeah.
like the last years of rentals and um, people buying this thing. I would imagine this is a pretty well owned. Well, maybe not. I don't know. This thing kind of came out at a
I
weird
think it
time
is.
too,
I
like right
think
between DVD and
2010.
streaming.
Yeah, it was probably the last push of DVDs, like, kind of
Blu-rays.
being a big thing. Uh, and then, yeah, I mean, clearly Netflix has the numbers because they pushed the cartoon. Netflix wouldn't do a cartoon and bring back all the actors that are now Marvel, that are now, huge, after Pitch Perfect, after all these, everyone's in like some sort of franchise and, doing huge things like, hey, instead of trying to get them back together, how about we do like a cartoon and just get them do their voices?
Yep,
And
this thing is all over Netflix, right? They got a cartoon
yeah,
animated series and maybe like a movie, and they got a. And I've never watched any of that stuff. I think there's even a Scott Pilgrim game you can play on Netflix.
yeah, that's what Steve said. There might be two games. There
There's
might
there's
be
a
one,
straight up game I know, and then there's like a
right,
Netflix game.
right. I thought there was one that's maybe kind of like Zelda-esque or one of those RPG ones where you walk around and you pick up people. And then there might be one that's kind of like a Double Dragon or whatever side scroller one. But yeah, I never played it.
Well, with that being said, let's go into final thoughts and include in your final thoughts your favorite character.
Sure.
Let's start with you, Jay.
Um,
Okay, great. So I of course I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. I might own it, I might not. I don't know. It's and if I don't, then I'm sure one day I will own a copy of this. This is like the 15th anniversary of it, I believe, right? So uh or yeah, the 16th anniversary. So yeah, this thing came out even a while ago now, by those standards. I like it. I would recommend this to pretty much everybody. Like there, any millennial, I think would get a kick out of this in any way, shape, or form. People who want like a romantic comedy, I think would like this. I think all the indie folk will like this. I think music people, if you love music, this thing bangs. Like the songs in this thing are absolutely wonderful, and they're funny, and they're like really encapsulate the movie, like the whole mood of the movie. It does so well in that movie. This movie rocks. Um, would I see it again? Absolutely. I want to see it again in theaters. I would love to see this again in theaters. Like that sounds like it would be a fun situation. My favorite character in this thing. Why? I mean, I think this time watching it, I would have to say, Allison Peel kind of did it for me. Kim, the drummer. I don't know what it was, but I also like Knives too this time around. Uh, I mean, if you would have asked me this before, I might have said like Kieran Culkin and Brie Larson and Brandon Routh's characters. But I think now this viewing, I really gave a really sharp eye on Kim and Knives.
Thank you for that, Jason. Let's go with Dino.
hey, hey. Um, yeah, I'd probably watch this movie again, especially kind of what Jason said, like at a some sort of screening at a theater. I think would be a lot of fun. Um, I think I said it before earlier today that yeah, the drummer, I can barely even know the name, Kim or whatever. I always liked her attitude, just I mean the way she hits those bob-ombs and then like the sound cues with her and that and the one-liners are always my headphones running out of battery? No. Always is I think great. But yeah, same thing with Kieran just because of stealing the boyfriend. But yeah, the drummer, like, she's great. And then when they lose the contract, because like, I'd say she's still probably my favorite. It's so minimalistic in a movie that's so big with all the characters that the small bits she has is like, I don't know if the realistic part of the movie, that yeah, just playing it so real. So yeah, I don't know who I'd recommend this to. It's because I wouldn't not recommend this to people. I just don't really think of like, oh, let me bring up Scott Pilgrim, right? Like it's weird. Is that talking about the Marvel actors or talking about famous actors that did a film before they got famous. Like, is it a comic book movie that I would recommend? But it is a movie that if it comes up, I would be like, oh, have you seen this? I feel like most of our generation has probably seen this at this point, but you know, maybe not. So that's my final thoughts.
Thank you for that, Dino. Let's go with Steve. Thank you. My final thoughts is this film is tremendous. I honestly think the most unfortunate thing about this movie has been the timing it has gotten released because it should have way bigger numbers. I was in shock, but I mean, I can also see with 2010 technology that a movie like this will cost so much. And primarily just post production alone. Like there could be things that could be probably done easier now than back in what almost 20 years ago, 16 years ago, um, because of how much technology has advanced. But man, is this a good movie? I will highly recommend it. I don't know, to people, like I would say there's probably still quite a lot of people that haven't even heard of this film because it's not one of those films that people talk about it much and stuff. And even mentioning Scott Pilgrim, like every time anybody says anything that's is related to Pilgrim, it just reminds me of Thanksgiving, because of the whole pilgrimage and whatever. But like, yeah, it's not really like a movie that's talked about as much. And I'm pretty sure there's so many people that haven't even heard of this movie, especially for my friends that don't speak English. I would think there's a lot of people in Colombia and Brazil and all these different places that I go travel, live in, that probably this movie hasn't even hit their radar. So I would definitely recommend it to those people. As far as like favorite characters, I would say, especially in this watch, it's a bit of a tie, a little bit. I would say number one, I would say I will give it to Wallace. Like, I really enjoyed his character and stuff because that's how I was expecting actually Aubrey Plaza to act because that's kind of like her shtick, but they put her in a different direction, which was cool. Uh, but my second favorite character will be Knives as well. I think she did a great job playing this character, uh, and it was very fun and entertaining. So I would put those as my favorite characters. And overall, this movie's great. I would totally see it again. I hope not a long time has passed since I think last time I saw this movie was, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago or something like that. So I definitely would like to see it again within the next year or two, maybe. Um, so yeah, those are my final thoughts.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Steve. That leaves me with one last question. And what do you got for us next week?
Next week, I am so glad you asked me. So we are basically concluding our March Madness bracket because pretty much almost everybody went. But guess what? Not everybody went. So our next film is from someone that's not even here.
A ghost?
Yeah.
A
The
Phantom Cinema Clubber?
the ghost of Marina
Okay.
is
She hasn't
next.
gone?
She hasn't gone. She hasn't gone. Her last movie was Princess Bride, had nothing to do with March Madness. So her pick is a movie with the first letter of her name, which is M. So she picked the movie. Can you guys guess what it is? Can you guys guess?
Did she pick Melinda?
No? Dino, can you pick?
Matilda.
Matilda. That's what I meant, Matilda.
So no, Jason, you're incorrect. Dino, can you guess?
I said Matilda.
Okay, it's not. It is Mamma Mia, here we go again. Mamma Mia, the movie.
All right, we're getting some back-to-back strong musicals.
I mean, I don't know if Scott Pilgrim will be considered a musical, but
A lot of music.
a lot of music. There we go. Anyways, Mamma Mia is for next week. I hope you guys enjoy it because I'll probably miss it. For Jason Eccles and Don Dino and me, Steve, the Stevie, we'll catch you next week. Bye bye.